The question, which when I studied with Sheikh Ziaur Rahman Azmi, may Allah grant him Jannah, that when we talk about Quran and Sahih Hadith, we don't have all the Sahih Hadith compiled. The maximum I could do, I studied with him in the year 1997. We could say, okay, take Silsila Sahih, but that doesn't have all the Sahih Hadith. It contains the Sahih Hadith in Kutub Sitta only. Bukhari, Muslim, and the other 4 books. So Alhamdulillah, after Sheikh Ziaur Rahman Azmi, he retired. There are many scholars in the last 1400 years who tried to compile all the Sahih Hadith together in one volume, but all those who tried, they never completed the project. Alhamdulillah, Sheikh Ziaur Rahman Azmi, after he retired, he took about 17 to 18 years to complete this project, and he compiled all the Sahih Hadith together, and he compiled in a book called Al-Jami Kamil, Al-Hadith, As-Sahih, Al-Shamil. The full name is Al-Jami, Al-Kamil, Al-Hadith, As-Sahih, Al-Shamil. Short form, it's called Al-Jami Kamil. And about 4 years ago, he compiled it, and the first edition was published. And after it was published, the revision was done about 2 years before, and it was printed just in this year. And Alhamdulillah, after the second edition was printed and published, and Sheikh Ziaur Rahman Azmi, he checked it up, and he was happy that at least the revised edition was out. Though he wrote the manuscript in 20 volumes, it was printed, the first edition, in 12 volumes. The second edition, because the print was larger, it came in 18 volumes. He also made a Mukhtasar Jami Kamil in 5 volumes. In the original Jami Kamil, as Sheikh Ziaur Rahman Azmi said, there were more than 1,000,000 hadith. Out of the 1,000,000 hadith, there are many duplicates. Like in Sahih Bukhari, if you remove the duplicates, there are 2,220 hadith. So if you compile all the 1,000,000 hadith and remove the duplicates, according to Sheikh Ziaur Rahman Azmi, there were about 60,000 hadith. From the 60,000 hadith, he collected only the Sahih Hadith, removing the duplicates. And in his Jami Kamil, there are 16,546 hadith. So according to Sheikh Ziaur Rahman Azmi, after removing the duplicates, the Sahih Hadith today in the world are 16,546. And we can safely say, if not 100%, at least this compilation of his, at least minimum, contains 95% of the Sahih Hadith. In this compilation, he has given the Hujjah, he has his own criteria. He compiled all the Hadith which are Sahih and removed the duplicates. He gave a reason that if this Hadith was Sahih, and according to him it was Zaif, he even mentioned that outside his Jami Kamil. So there are additional 3,000 Hadith which other scholars say it is Sahih, but he says it is Zaif, and he gives Hujjah why it is Zaif, and he mentions it so that people don't think he has forgotten. Then he has even added in that 3,000 Hadith the very common Hadith, famous Hadith, but they are Zaif. Famous Hadith which are Mawdu. For example, the very common and famous Hadith that Ikhtilaf is Rahmah, it is a Mawdu Hadith. There's another Mawdu Hadith that as far as you go to acquire knowledge, no problem. Even if you go to China, China was never the seat of knowledge at the time of the Prophet. The Hadith is Mawdu. So he mentioned this famous Hadith, but it is not Sahih Hadith, it is a Mawdu, and giving his reason. So total his Jami Kamil contains 16,546 Hadith, plus approximately 3,000 Hadith, which other Muhaddithin have said Sahih, and he says it is Zaif, or the other famous Hadith which are Zaif and Mawdu, so people don't think he has missed out. And in this, the big volume, which is printed in 12 volumes in the first edition, 8 in the second edition, this has given the takhrij, the details, why it is Sahih, why it is Zaif, and all the reasoning. And if the Hadith is there, he gives the references there in Sahih Bukhari, Hadith number so and so, including Sahih Muslim, Hadith number so and so, including Abu Dawud, Hadith number so and so. So after the end of every Hadith, it is available in 3 books of Hadith, or available in 5 books of Hadith, or 2 books of Hadith, or only 1 book of Hadith. The details are given so that you come to know from where it comes. In the Mukhtasar Jami Kamil, which is in 5 volumes, the takhrij, the research has been removed so that it's easy for a layman to read. So the complete Jami Kamil is mainly for scholars and for the Muhaddithin. For a layman, the Mukhtasar is sufficient. The Mukhtasar, we have started translating it into English. It was a 3 years project. We started it about 4 years back, but unfortunately when the translation was complete, I wasn't happy with the English language, so we are revising it. So now we have completed 1/3 of the revision. Inshallah, next year, by the end of next year, it will be out. So we will, inshallah, translate the Mukhtasar, which is in 5 volumes, and it will be easy for people who don't know Arabic to read it and to understand it. We are translating also into Urdu and other languages. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this work is a phenomenal work. So when we say Quran and Sahih Hadith, now you can say Quran and Jami Kamil. Jami Kamil contains all the Hadith of Bukhari, all the Hadith of Muslim, all the Sahih Hadith which is there in the Kutub al-Sitta, in Abu Dawud, in Sunan Nisai, in Sunan Tirmidhi, in Ibn Majah, Muwatta Malik. There are other books of Sahih. The other books of Sahih that we know, that Bukhari and Muslim are only 2 books which are 100% authentic. And scholars even say that Imam Muwatta Malik, all Sahih. So for a layman, if he wants to know, he cannot do research. If the Hadith of Bukhari or Muslim or Imam Muwatta Malik, safely he can say the Hadith is Sahih. Otherwise, he has to check whether it is Sahih or not.